There is a moment most dog owners never talk about. You are sitting somewhere ordinary, the kitchen, the hallway, the end of the bed, and your dog does something small. Looks at you for a half-second longer than they needed to. Follows you to a room they had no reason to enter. Rests their chin on your leg without being invited. And for a moment you think, do they actually know what I am feeling right now? Not in a vague way. Specifically. Do they know it is me? And do they know something is off? That question turns out to be one of the most studied and least settled questions in animal science. And the answer, when it finally came, did not come from behavior. It came from chemistry. And it changes the way you will think about every quiet moment you have ever shared with your dog. Here is what most people believe about dogs and emotion. They believe dogs are good at reading the room. They pick up on energy. They sense when something is wrong. All of that is true, and none of it captures what is actually happening. Because what researchers have found is not that dogs are sensitive to human emotion in a general way. It is that they have developed a specific biological system across thousands of years of living alongside us that is designed to respond to us in particular. Not to animals, not to strangers, to the person they have chosen. And the way that system works is stranger and more precise than anyone expected. Let us start with what your dog is actually detecting when you walk through the door after a hard day. Because it is not your face. It is not even your voice, at least not first. Alexandra Horowitz at Barnard College has spent years studying how dogs process the world through scent. And what her research reveals is that your dog builds a chemical portrait of you that is more detailed than anything your own memory could construct. Your stress levels, your health, your emotional state, your hormonal shifts, all of it is encoded in the air around you before you have said a single word. Your dog knows something has changed before you have decided whether to mention it. They are not reading your mood. They are reading your biology. But detecting something and responding to it are two different things, because dogs do not respond the same way to every human in distress. They respond differently depending on who that human is to them. A team of researchers in the United Kingdom ran a study where dog owners and strangers both hummed and both cried in the presence of the dog. The dogs approached crying humans more than humming humans regardless of who it was. But the ones who approached fastest, who made sustained contact, who stayed, were almost always responding to their person. The stranger's distress registered. The owner's distress activated something different. Not just attention. Orientation. The dog did not just notice. The dog moved toward and stayed. Researchers believe this is because the bond between a dog and their person is not simply learned. It is chemically reinforced every time it is used. When your dog makes eye contact with you and holds it, oxytocin rises in both of you. The same hormone that bonds a mother to a newborn. The same chemical loop that human beings use to maintain their closest relationships. Your dog's gaze does not just communicate affection. It manufactures it, in both directions, each time it happens. And this loop does not activate between dogs and strangers. It does not activate between wolves and the humans who raised them from birth. It evolved in domestic dogs specifically, and it targets the human bonding system with what can only be described as remarkable precision. Now here is the part that most people find hardest to sit with. If your dog has this capacity, if they are carrying a detailed biological portrait of you, if their brain lights up differently for your presence than for anyone else's, what does that mean for all the moments you assumed did not register? The days you were too tired to engage. The evenings you sat in the same room but somewhere else in your head. The times you were going through something and said nothing because you did not want to make it a thing. Your dog was reading all of it. Not judging it. Reading it. Storing it. Updating the portrait. Attila Andix at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest trained dogs to lie still in brain scanners without sedation and played them recordings of human voices expressing different emotional states. The dogs' brains responded to emotionally positive human sounds in the same region that human brains use to process emotional sounds from other humans. The same region. Not an approximation. The same neural real estate. And dogs with stronger bonds to their owners showed stronger responses. The bond is not just behavioral. It is written into how the brain allocates its resources. Here is something that research has only recently started to take seriously. Dogs remember emotionally. There is a concept in animal cognition called episodic-like memory, the ability to mentally replay specific past experiences rather than just recognizing patterns. For a long time, scientists assumed this was uniquely human. Then studies emerged showing that dogs could recall specific actions performed by humans, actions they had only seen once, sometimes hours later, without being trained to do so. They were not just pattern matching. They were retrieving something. And what behavioral researchers increasingly suspect is that the experiences most reliably stored are the ones with the strongest emotional charge. The afternoon on the couch when you were sick and they stayed pressed against you. The morning you cried in the kitchen and they sat at your feet and did not move. These moments are not lost on them. They may be precisely the ones that last. This reframes what a relationship with a dog actually is. Most people think of it as something happening in the present. The walk you take today. The greeting you get tonight. But if dogs are storing emotionally charged experiences and using them to build their understanding of the people they are bonded to, then the relationship is cumulative in a way we rarely account for. Every hard day you got through with your dog nearby. Every ordinary evening that felt like nothing at the time. It is all going somewhere. It is all being filed. Now consider what happens when their person disappears. Not dies, just leaves. The ordinary departure. You go to work. You travel for a week. Research on separation shows cortisol levels, the primary stress hormone, rising within minutes of an owner leaving and remaining elevated for hours. But the cortisol spike is significantly higher when it is the bonded person who leaves versus a familiar but less attached human. The dog's body is not just responding to being alone. It is responding to the specific absence of a specific individual. They are not confused. They are missing someone in particular. And when that person returns, the recognition is immediate. Studies measuring heart rate variability show dogs returning to baseline faster in the presence of their bonded person than with anyone else. The person does not just make them happy. The person makes them physiologically calm in a way nothing else quite replicates. So what do you do with all of this? The research does not give you a technique. What it gives you instead is something quieter. It tells you that the accumulation of ordinary moments is the method, that your dog is not waiting for the grand gesture. They are building their understanding of you from the texture of your daily presence, the way you sound when you are relaxed, the specific rhythm of your footsteps, what your stress smells like, and what it smells like when it lifts. They are not hoping you will do something memorable. They are paying attention to what you actually are. Your dog knows you. Not the version of you that you present. The actual version. The one that exists before you decide how to act. And they have known that version for as long as they have been yours. They have been storing it, updating it, and orienting their entire nervous system around it every single day. That is not a small thing. That is one of the more precise and quietly extraordinary things happening in your home right now. Dogs really are fascinating animals. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to Decoded Animals. See you in the next video.